to the next one, all right? So from the 8th pick, let's see how this draft ends up, all right? The draft has started. Let me turn off all these sounds. Let's see. Justin Jefferson making bank. Well-deserved for Justin Jefferson. He got paid today. Got paid. $140 million for 4 years, so making $35 million a year. Well-deserved. Set the bar for the next guys. Can you one day draft from the 5th spot in a 10-man PPR league? We'll do that. We'll do that. Not today. Today I'm going to keep it 12 team, but I'll do that, KR, for sure. Lineups lined up. Yes, sir. If you don't cover the spread, you lose. Hey, that's real. What's up, brother Monster? What's good, bro? You think the Niners fumble Ayuk? I hope not, but my gut says yes. New from TikTok. We'll definitely go drive some likes. Johnny, I appreciate you, dog. So we had Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, and Jamar Chase go off the board with Bijan Robinson. And I'm coming up here on my pick. Justin Jefferson just came off the board. Amon-Ra St. Brown. So here I am at the 8th pick. Somebody else was asking me about this. And, you know, if you want to go receiver heavy, that's fine. But for me, I'm looking at the running backs here. Breece Hall, Saquon. One of these guys is going to help you because receiver gets a little, it starts to even out here. A.J. Brown, Puka, Devontae Adams, they're all similar to me. And I know one of these guys is going to come back. So for me, I'm going Breece Hall. I'm getting kind of an elite guy. I think I might be able to swing Saquon Barkley in the next round if I'm drafting with people who aren't hearing me out loud. But I'm going to go Breece Hall right here at the 8th pick. Breece Hall. I would have took Bijan if he was there, but it's all good. Dynasty League non-PPR, all running backs are gone. I got CMC second. Do I keep Laporta in round 13 or Chase in round 11? You keep Chase round 11. No, I don't care if it's non-PPR. I hope that's Jamar Chase. Somehow you got Jamar Chase in round 11. That's crazy. When we doing a mock, we're doing one right now, and then after this too. I'll do one more after this. Who's your top quarterback? Josh Allen. Go Red. Cincinnati everything. What's good? You like the hat? I'm actually a Giants fan, if you can see it back there, though. I'm actually a Giants fan. Dynasty Superflex. Harrison goes 101. Are we drafting 102 Caleb or Jalen? I think you have to go with Caleb for the upside. The only thing is Jaden Daniels in this year and probably next year might be better in fantasy. I'm not going to lie. Like these next 2 years, Jaden Daniels might be better because of the rushing upside. So I think if you're playing long-term, which Dynasty you have to, I think Caleb's the safest player, but like Jaden Daniels has crazy upside. Crazy upside. Wow, been a minute. Smiz, what's good, bro? Real high in AJ this year. Hurts needs to stay healthy. I think AJ is the same. He's going to be the same as he always is. Swift a big sleeper this year. I like the draft spot for him, actually. Who's your favorite rookie based on redraft value? Jaden Daniels is my favorite rookie right now. If you're talking about favorite rookie, like positional player, I like Keon Coleman a lot, but I just don't want to see his value continue to go up. Continue to go up this offseason. I think it might. What's your take on Tariq Cohen running a 4-3? I'm not thinking about Tariq Cohen at all. I think it's a good signing for them, but probably more like return real value than it is fantasy value. But Tariq Cohen could be a good piece for that team. A little electricity to that return game is my thought. All right, my pick now. So after I took Breece Hall, A.J. Brown, Gibbs, Nakua, Taylor, Saquon went, then Garrett Wilson, Diggs, surprisingly Diggs, and then Drake London. So now I got to try to find some value here. And at the receiver position, I'm going to go with Old Faithful, Devontae Adams. I don't see why I wouldn't take Devontae Adams right there. Is the draft starting now? Yes, the draft is on YouTube, Justin Henry Show. I'm going to get another one going here in just a minute. Love Henry in the second. Yes, I think Derrick Henry in the second round is an awesome pick. Probably fading him this year until he falls into the third. I'm not too mad at that. I just think Derrick Henry has a crazy season this year too. Yee Man, what's good, bro? He said, do you remember who I liked last year? Yeah, you were like Chris Olave, Bijan, all the young players. You were the young players. Yeah, Jahan likes Bijan now. I like value. So the craziest thing is that a lot of people will think I don't like players. I love a lot of players, bro. Like when it comes to fantasy, I like players who help me win. So the thing is, if you ask me, do you like Marvin Harrison? I'm gonna be like, yeah. Do you like Mike Evans? Yeah. Do you like Marvin Harrison's draft spot? No. Do you like Mike Evans' draft spot? Yes. So you hear a take on a player from me. It's not that I don't like the player. It's just I don't like the value. I love value over everything. So, for instance, last year, 2 players you heard me talk down on, Tony Pollard and Calvin Ridley. It was purely for draft value, right? Tony Pollard was going as a top 5 running back. Calvin Ridley was going as a top 10 to 12 receiver. Well, what about now? Now, Calvin Ridley's going outside the top 30 receivers. Tony Pollard's going outside the top 25 running backs. Tony Pollard was a top 14 running back last year. Calvin Ridley was a top 18 wide receiver last year in PPR formats. I like the value. Now I'll be talking positively about those players. So it definitely ain't, it's not like I hate players. It's literally, I just hate draft spots. That's it. That's it. And when I say a player is going to bust or be a fade, a lot of times it's just where they're being taken at, and they're going to perform less than that. That's it. So like and subscribe. You know what, Wakan? That deserves a pin, my man. That deserves a pin, my man. Henry has a chance to have 15 plus touchdowns this year. I absolutely agree with that. Who's your favorite tight end in the later rounds? Later rounds. I'll have to think about that. One. He hit a slight decline last year. The cliff comes. We're trying to project things, man. Derrick Henry was awesome last year. He was a top 10 back last year. Oh, you snagged Cooper Kupp right before me, dog. I don't like that, bro. I don't like that at all. I don't like that. That was actually a really good pick. You got St. Brown, Evans, and Kupp. The middle of the draft is going to be crazy this year. Let's go with Debo. So since I took Devontae Adams, Evans, Olave, Marvin Harrison went, then Kyron, Derrick Henry in the second round, Ayuk, and then Nico Collins to finish out the second round. And then at the top of the third round, we had DJ Moore, Michael Pittman, Josh Allen, Devin Achane, Travis Etienne, Josh Jacobs, Cooper Kupp, Debo Samuel. I just took. All right. Rank these running backs: Breece, Bijan, Gibbs, and K9. I don't think this is, to be honest, I don't think this is hard at all. I go Bijan, then Breece, then Gibbs, then K9. I don't think it's really hard at all. What's a solid pick 8 first round? I just made one. Breece Hall if he lands there. Breece, St. Brown, Bijan, Jettas, whichever one's available. Harrison, too rich for me. That high where Sleeper has him ranked. Yeah, they got Marvin Harrison ranked right now as a top 10 to 12 receiver wherever you're looking. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, I get it. Kid could have 1,200 yards, but like, let's see him on the field first. You probably don't love Kyron or Achane. Hell, not this year. Hell no. Neither one of them. What was your biggest call last year? One of my biggest calls last year was Rachaad White. Yo, I was all over Rachaad White last year. And if you got Rachaad White, I'd say that was probably my best call because he was the top 4 running back last year. So if you got Rachaad White, I talked about Rachaad White all last offseason. That was probably my best call. And then my best fade was probably fading Tony Pollard or fading Calvin Ridley because, oh my gosh, I had the pitchforks coming after me. Oh my gosh, I got a lot of hate for saying that Calvin Ridley wasn't going to be top 10 to 12 or that Tony Pollard wasn't top 5. Like, I got so much hate for that shit. My worst one is probably saying Najee was going to be back in the top 10, obviously. For obvious reasons, right? Najee, that take was ass. One of my worst fades is I said fade Travis Etienne, and for like a majority of the season, that he was like a top 3 back for most of the season. Then he fell off towards the second end of the second half of the year. Thoughts on Mostert this year? He's a sleeper. Yeah, Mostert's a hell of a value yet again. Pollard or Tajay Spears? I like Pollard a little bit more than Tajay. They're close. Gus Edwards. I really like Gus Edwards later rounds this year. Ferguson's a perfect sleeper tight end. No, Ferguson is going to be a touchdown dependent tight end, and honestly, he's going too high right now. Unless I see him, he climbs down the board a little bit. He's still going in the top 10. So, thoughts on Tajay Spears? I think he has potential, but I still think Tony Pollard is the lead back there. I think it's 1A, 1B. I'd rather have Tony Pollard. Tight end sleeper, Ben Sinnott. I keep seeing this, and it's cool, but like, he's got to earn that spot over Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is in Washington right now. So for what he could be, yeah, but he's still a rookie tight end. And rookie tight ends are asked to do a lot. So most of the time you don't see like Sam Laporta is kind of an outlier. You don't mostly see rookie tight ends do well, but Ben Sinnott, I'm cool. I'm cool. He's worth the dart throw. I'll say that. Brees losing a little value due to Braylon Allen. That's another thing I haven't talked about. Braylon Allen expected to take on some of the receiving work too, and he was a dynamic back himself. So yes, I'm kind of. That's why I think Bijan to me is has a clear lead over Brees, but Brees has a chance to be the running back one. The running back one too. So people sleep on K9. I agree. I was big on K9 last year. It's just he's not going to get the receiving work you want to see for like fantasy leagues. But as far as real football, I think Kenneth Walker, he's up there, bro. He's a top 10 to 12 running back in the league right now. I like Kenneth Walker's game a lot. It's just, can he stay healthy? And now he doesn't catch the rock a whole lot. So if you're not catching the rock, especially in like PPR, half PPR leagues, I like him as a running back. It's just for fantasy. He's not a fade. He's just not somebody I'm going to be like, he's a sleeper or he needs more love. Would you rather have, it's my pick. Damn it, hold on. We're going to pause this thing. We're going back. Hold on a minute, bro. Hold on a minute, man. We're going to redo this. I got to take myself. How do you take yourself off auto pick? Hold on, Aaron Jones. I'm taking that pick off. We're going back. I got to remove the pick. Remove the pick. Definitely not taking Sam Laporta. All right. Now I'm on the clock. We can resume the draft. So Travis Kelce is still here. That's crazy to me. Yeah, I'm going Kelce, bro. There we go. Is the clock going now? Pause and resume. We back in? All right, good. Sorry, doing too much, man. Doing the talk in, doing the draft in. We're going J-Mo or Keon Coleman this year. I think Keon Coleman has more upside than J-Mo this year, even though J-Mo is probably the better pick. I think Keon Coleman, if he hits, this guy could be like a 90-catch guy. But if J-Mo's going to have a lot more explosive plays. So I would say I would rather have J-Mo. I think he's a safer play because like Keon Coleman could be 60 catches and 800 yards. And I think that'd be a good season for him too. J-Mo should have a much better season. I think Keon Coleman is just like, if he hits, if he's the guy in Buffalo, he's a game changer. That's the only thing. Because J-Mo can't be the guy in Detroit with Laporta and with St. Brown. That's the only thing. How do you feel about Flowers' breakout coming? Flowers already had a good season. What more is he going to do? Like reception-wise or touchdown-wise, he can't really improve. CD looking forward to that payday? Hell yeah, he is. He saw that Jefferson payday. Oh, we timed out again, Stefan. Let me see if I can take you off. Take yourself off auto pick, Stefan, if you're watching. If you're watching, take yourself off auto. Stefan, if you're watching, you're on auto pick. Thoughts on Ty Spears and Dynasty? I think Tajay Spears in Dynasty is a good look. It's just he has to earn playing time over Tony Pollard. You was fading Pacheco? Yes, I did fade Pacheco. I did. Where you been, bro? I've been here, bro. I don't show up on your guys' feed. They say the word shadow ban. I don't know if I'm shadow banned, but y'all don't be liking my shit though. It'll get like 2,000 views and like 30 likes. I don't understand it. And I know y'all like the shit. That's the crazy part. So I don't know. It really don't matter that much to me. You probably don't see me though, because my shit don't get shown in a lot of feeds for whatever reason. But we're gonna be back. You can't hide from it during the season. During the offseason, you can, but not during the season. Thoughts on Saquon? Saquon could be a top 2 RB this year, in my opinion. I think I love him in that Philly offense, but it's just a matter of does he get the touchdowns? If he gets the touchdowns, we rocking. If he doesn't get the touchdowns, he's probably gonna be more like back in the mid-tier RB1. How do you like White this year? I have concerns about White with Bucky Irving there. The new offense coordinators kind of talked up Bucky Irving and saying like he could have a role receiving wise. So I'm a little concerned about Rachaad White, especially because his yards per carry last year, like 3.6 yards per carry. I think they're looking for more efficiency. We'll see. I'm still drafting him in as a top 12 running back, but J-Hen auto draft. No more auto draft for me. I'll be on it. Dynasty Superflex, you got offered Trey McBride for Mixon and Watson. Christian Watson, no tight end premium. Depends on who you got at tight end. If I already had another tight end, I'd be cool with Mixon and Watson. It's just Trey McBride is an elite piece. Mixon and Watson are like okay pieces. That's my only thing. That's my only thing. All right. Damn. Malik Neighbors has slipped to the 5th round here. I'm still going to pass on him. I'm going to go get one of my favorite players to draft right now. One of my favorite players to draft right now. George Pickens off the board, baby. We getting George Pickens. Some upside. Thoughts on Laporta? Will be tough to replicate what he did as a rookie, but he's still a top 3 tight end. Thoughts on Jaden in the later rounds? I think Jaden Daniels has hella upside, bro. Hella upside. Like, could be top 5. Like, I know I'm probably speaking a little too highly of him, but he could be like a top 5 quarterback in fantasy if he stays healthy and he runs the way I think he's going to run. So I think we're getting him in like mid-tier to back-end QB2 range. He could be like league winner type shit, though. Curly Head, I answered the 3 triple threat receivers. I'm not avoiding them. I find the players that I like. Thoughts on Michael Mayer? I think Michael Mayer is strictly blocking tight end and kind of an afterthought in fantasy, at least. I think in real football, he'll develop, and I don't like the fact that they took Brock Bowers too for his value, because I think Michael Mayer is a good tight end. But I don't know. We'll see. Thoughts on Pitts this year? Could be a top 3 to 5 tight end. Saquon, I talked about him. I think he'd be a top 2 running back. How good is Blake Corum? He's legit. Blake Corum's legit. Legit. Like, he's a legit threat to take on workload for the Rams. Take on a good workload for the Rams. I'm back. I have my pick queued up. You're all good, Brody. PJ Nasty was good, bro. He said, would you rather have Puka or A.J. Brown? I'm taking A.J. Brown over Puka. I think Puka had a really nice season last year, and he got gassed up because of the final numbers. But it's easy to forget. Like, Cooper Kupp was out the first 4 games. Missed a portion of the middle of the season, right? And then had to work his way up to speed. So, while I don't think Cooper Kupp necessarily is like the wide receiver 1, I do think it's more of a 1A, 1B situation and like what a lot of people want to let on. It seems like Puka's the guy based on last year. But for me, it's very similar to what is going to happen in Philly with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And I think A.J. Brown is, I'd rather have A.J. Brown than Puka, put it that way. Thoughts on Rice? I'm not drafting Rashee Rice. If he comes back midseason, Team already has Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce, Pacheco. Like, there's a lot of offensive weapons on this team already. And say he has a 6 to 8 game suspension. What do you got to wait a long time with him on your bench, not on the injured reserve, but on your bench for a really long time. So I think he's a good player. It's just he dealt with some shit this offseason that's probably going to cost him a few games. If it's under 6 games, maybe I'm looking at him, but I got to see how ADP shakes out when it comes to Rashee Rice. You think Kool-Aid was a steal for the Saints? Yeah, Kool-Aid McKinstry, bro. They needed a corner like him, especially with Paulson on the other side, bro. I like what the Saints are trying to do with limited resources right now. If you said definitely not Laporta, why Kelce? Because Laporta was the round before that. Kelce was this round, right? All right. I like Kelce. I like McBride. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. I got a lot of shit going on. That's why. I got a lot of shit going on. What can I say? I got a lot of shit going on. So a lot of shit in my head trying to answer questions, draft, make sure I don't run out on the clock. That's why. Yo, Josh, I appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you, homie. All right, so now I'm up. It's the 6th round or 7th round right now. We're on the 6th round. I got 45 seconds on the clock. Let's see if I can. Oh, yeah. It's Calvin Ridley time for me. How many receivers I got? I got 4 receivers now. So I just drafted Calvin Ridley here in the 6th round. I think that's a really good position for him. I got Breece Hall, Devontae Adams, Debo, Kelce, Pickens, and Calvin Ridley right now. So, yeah, I'm liking the start. I need to grab some running backs here. I probably should have been looking at what running backs were available because I know running backs dry up really quickly around these rounds. Stroud, best fantasy quarterback this year? Hell no. Stroud has to run. Like, I guess Stroud he's going to be great this year, but best, if you're going to be the best fantasy quarterback, you have to score rushing touchdowns and you have to run the football. It has to be a part of the game. Has to be. So like Josh Allen, Lamar, Anthony Richardson, you got, even Mahomes never really has, he's up there, but he runs in sometimes. Like you got to run a little bit more than what Stroud does, unless you're throwing for over 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. Don't like Olave in a second, but I like the player. Yeah, see, exactly. This is what I'm talking about. Value over everything. Kamara in the fourth is a steal. No, yes. Kamara in the fourth is definitely a steal. Definitely a steal. Same situation. I don't know why he's going in the round 2. Which Packer receiver would you draft? If I'm drafting any of the Packers receivers, Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed's, I like him more than Watson or Dobbs. Dobbs is a safe play. Watson obviously has like the biggest range of outcomes. And then everybody's on Dontavian Wicks having like a big role for this team. I just don't see it. He's the 4th receiver in a passing game. And to be honest, if you're looking for value on this Green Bay team, it's probably a tight end. Somebody asked me about late round tight ends. Luke Musgrave could have a really nice season this year. Luke Musgrave could. Josh, I appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you, Brody. What up, Jay? And Alex, was good, Brody? Thoughts on Bowers? I'm avoiding him in redraft. Dynasty, obviously, he could be good, but I'm avoiding him in redraft. Not falling for the Pitts trap again. It's all good. All good. Reds money line. I have. This is just a hat. Strictly a hat. That's it. I'm gonna be real with y'all. This is strictly a hat. I'm a Giants fan, and that's because I live here in NorCal. I'm not a big baseball guy anymore. Chase getting a bigger bag than Jettas. I think Jettas just set the precedent, but Chase and CD are both about to get paid very well. Very well. And it's my pick again. So, yeah, I was about to time out on y'all again. Javonte, good pick. Good pick, Javonte. All right. Roma Dunze is slipping a little bit further than I want to. But I see y'all went and hammered the running backs. See y'all hammered the running backs. We're going to go. I either got to take Pollard or I'm taking Dak. No, I'm taking Pollard right now. Let's get it back. Javonte, good pick, because that would have been my pick there, Javonte. That was a good pick. That was a good pick. Thoughts on Zamir White in Las Vegas? I think he has a hell of a year. More RB2-ish than like RB1, but I think Zamir White has a really good season. Who's a good bench stash this year? There's a ton of them. Make sure you follow the page. I'm dropping a whole bunch of shit this year. So a good bench stash this year. What position? Give me a position, and I'll tell you. If you have an IL spot, Rice could be worth a late pick. We'll see. Yeah, we got to see how it shakes out with Rashee Rice. I don't want to speculate because I don't have enough information. Why is Hurts in round 5? He's a third quarterback off the board. Third quarterback off the board. And I think this is the people who follow here are a very savvy group. And obviously I'm seeing a lot of people going outside of ADP, which is how it should be, right? Like you got to be able to prepare for drafts where things don't go according to ADP. So I like what I'm seeing right now. There's some really good teams here. I'll go over the teams afterward before we get into the next draft. You enjoy the offseason, bro? Hell yeah, I enjoy the offseason, man. But it's really never the offseason, man. I was doing fantasy hoop for Yahoo, so it's never really the offseason. Thoughts on Bo Nix? I think he fits the Sean Payton mold. He'll be accurate, but he's, I want to see him be the day one starter and not have to wait 4 or 5 games. I think it's going to take him a while, but he'll be good. I think he'll be good. Should I drop Jerry Jeudy in Dynasty? Hell no. Why would you drop Jerry Jeudy? I just want A-Rod to get another ring. I don't mind the team. He's the reason I got into football. A-Rod, bro. It's been a long time since we've seen him win a championship, man. Sorry, this shit just reset. Let me try to find where I was at. Thoughts on who's going to be the wide receiver 1 for the Chargers? For the Chargers, I think Quentin Johnson has a good chance. Joshua Palmer seems like the safest. I know everybody wants Ladd McConkey to do it. He's going to be the slot guy. So I think Joshua Palmer has a good chance to be the one, like safety-wise. I think Quentin Johnson has like the biggest range of outcomes. I would like to say being the big body receiver, that's normally who Jim Harbaugh trusts. But we got to see how it all plays out. Trade Hurts, Aaron Jones, and Mims for Kyler, Spears, and Schultz, 25 first and a 25 third. And it's tight end premium. Hurts for Kyler's a wash. Aaron Jones, Mims. Get the first, bro. Get the first. Spears in the first, yeah. I'm cool with that. Trey McBride going to ball this year? Of course. Of course Trey McBride's going to ball this year. Of course he is. Trey McBride is solid, man. I was on Trey McBride way before a lot of people were. I'll say that. Way before a lot of people. Jets a sleeper pick this year. What's there to sleeper about the Jets, bro? Everybody loves the Jets this year. I think the Jets are still going to be – the AFC is just so tough, bro. Like, that's the only thing, man. You got the Dolphins and the Bills in the same division. You got Texans that play really good football. The Titans are going to be a lot better this year. You obviously got, like, the entire AFC North, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Baltimore. And then you got, you know, in the AFC West, you got the Chiefs. So it's like, it's just going to be tough for the Jets, bro, because they have good talent, and obviously Aaron Rodgers is going to help, but I don't know if they're like Super Bowl worthy. I don't know if they're Super Bowl worthy. All right, my next pick here. Damn, we're getting to reach territory already, huh? Well, if y'all going to leave Jordan Love for me here, I'm just going to grab my quarterback now. Normally I could rock without a quarterback, but I'll just take Jordan Love here. I don't love that pick, but I'll take Jordan Love in this round. I don't love that pick, by the way. I feel like I rather would have took another positional player that had more upside, maybe a running back. It's just I wasn't feeling these running backs on the board right now. Maybe Nick Chubb. I think I can get these guys later. Some of my other players I think I can get a little bit later because of how many running backs have gone already. So if you're wondering why I took a quarterback there, normally I'd save my quarterback for a little bit later, but the value on Jordan Love, a little too good to pass up. What about Blake Corum? Would you draft him as insurance? I don't draft handcuffs, but Blake Corum should be a good player. I don't normally draft handcuffs. I would just draft him just because. We drafted Najee this year. Hell yeah, we drafted Najee this year. Value over everything. He's going as like the running back 25. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? He played terrible last year and was the RB23. Thoughts on Swift? Swift could be a value. I just think that he's not a player that I really want to get in that offense in Chicago, but he's probably going to be he's probably going to be a better value than than I'm giving him credit for. Like he went what, the 6th round? That's good value for him. Think Mahomes is good value here. Mahomes in the 6th round, yes. I think Mahomes in the 6th round is excellent value. What kind of season you expect from Neighbors? I'm a G-man. Okay, so I've got this question a lot on Malik Neighbors just because of some content I put out recently, and I called him a bust, right? He was going as like a top, right now he's being valued as a top 20 to 25 receiver. I just think that's really heavy when you got guys like Keenan Allen, Cooper Kupp, George Pitt, like guys that have way more upside than him going after him, right? Now, I get he's an elite prospect, but what do you normally need to have in order to be a good fantasy receiver? You have to have decent quarterback play, and Daniel Jones has never had a receiver over 800 yards in his entire career. You can talk about Kenny Golladay. You can talk about Kadarius Toney. You can talk about the team took Wando Robinson, who's been hurt, obviously. You can talk about Darius Slayton. You talk about Sterling Shepard. There's so many receivers he's had. And the thing is, like, tight end, he's had Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram looked like shit with him. Evan Ingram was a disappointment until he went to Jacksonville. So for me, I think until this thing turns from Danny Dimes to somebody else, not Drew Lock, a real quarterback, I don't know. I think he'll be decent. Like if he had 800 yards and 5 touchdowns, that wouldn't shock me, but I'm kind of expecting disappointment from Malik Neighbors this season. Any Chicago receivers you're taking? Keenan Allen's the best value to me. Keenan Allen, I mean, he went, where'd he go in this draft? Keenan Allen went 3rd round. I'll take 3rd round Keenan Allen. Thoughts on Pollard? A lot of value on Tony Pollard, in my opinion. He finished, like I said, RB14, and last year he was a starting back. He was the RB8 before that in a backup role with Zeke. So I think there's some value with Tony Pollard in Tennessee. If Will Levis plays well, there's going to be a ton of fantasy value in Tennessee, kind of like there was with Tampa last year. Like last year, Tampa, you got Mike at a discount, you got Godwin at a discount, you got Baker at a discount, you got Rachaad White at a discount, right? All 4 of those players at a discount. And I think Tennessee might be this team this year. If Will Levis could just be good, you got Will Levis, DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, Tajay Spears, Tony Pollard. Those 5 will all have value. Richardson blowing up. Oh, shit, just lost it. Richardson blowing up this year if he stays healthy. Yes, he is. I think he has like the QB1 potential. Thinking Justin Tucker in the 9th round. Thoughts? Never draft a kicker with anything other than your last pick, unless there's some kind of bonuses. All right, I'm up here. Damn, y'all sniped, bro. Let's go. I don't want to get both of them. Do I want to get both of them? Let's see who else is here first. Prop hours. I'm going to grab Tajay Spears here. I'm going to grab Spears. I don't care about having them both. I hate handcuffs, but whatever. Whatever. I think instead of that Kelsey spot, I should have grabbed a running back there. I should have grabbed Rachaad White there. That would have made my whole draft way different. Instead of this Kelsey pick that I was rushed on. Because I missed the damn clock. In Dynasty, should I get Caleb Williams or Jalen Daniels? I think Caleb is safer. Jaden Daniels just has so much more upside. I don't do baseball, man. So I know I got the hat on. I got the baseball shit back there. I don't do baseball. Jake Fraley. I wish I did, but I don't do baseball. Does OBJ do better with the Dolphins? Nah, as a third receiver, he'll have some spike weeks, but I'm not expecting much from OBJ this year. Thoughts on Bucky Irving and McMillan? I like McMillan as a sleeper. He probably needs an injury to be fantasy relevant in redraft. I think he's more of like a 2-3 year thing. If Evans leaves in 2 years or Godwin somehow, leaves, he's been kind of injury prone too. So I like McMillan. I just don't like him in redraft. And then Bucky Irving should play a role too in Tampa. Should play a role. Who's your biggest bust this year? Biggest bust this year? So far right now, what I've seen is like Malik Neighbors probably is going a little too high. That's the one player I don't really like his draft spot. I'll have sleepers and breakouts and shit coming this next month, but probably Malik Neighbors for draft spot. If there's a player, and Pacheco, I think Pacheco's going mad early too. Like in our draft, Pacheco went before Kamara, who placed higher than him last year. Joe Mixon finished higher than him last year. James Cook finished higher than him. Like I don't know. I think Pacheco's cool, but I think Pacheco's getting shown a lot of love for somebody who just had a really good season and stayed healthy the whole year. You think Adams is going to bounce back? Of course. Adams had a good year last year. Devontae Adams was the wide receiver 14. Last year, he had 1,144 yards, 8 touchdowns. That's why you're down on him. He had 103 receptions. He was still good. He was the 14th. Wire. It says 10th here. I don't know why it says 10th and 14th, but it says he was the 10th in PPR. So I don't know why it says 14th right there. But Devontae was good last year. That's one thing too, is like, don't let misconceptions or like how you think of teams determine, like, sometimes players are better than we remember them. Let's put it that way. Sometimes players are better. They did better than we remember how they did. It's getting to ugly territory. Y'all ravaged through this whole thing, man. I'm going to go with Brian Robinson here. I don't love the pick, but I like the value there. Brian Robinson, another starter. Who do you see the top 5 picks? Top 5 picks in fantasy should be Tyreek, CD, CMC, Jettas, and probably St. Brown. If you don't like St. Brown, it's got to be one of the running backs. That's how I feel about it. Brandon, what's good, Brody? How you living, dog? I'm targeting Ladd McConkey in every draft I'm in. Why? What's the obsession? I want to know, honestly, like truthfully, this is not me like talking shit. I just want to genuinely know what's the obsession with Ladd McConkey. Straight up. He's like the 3rd best receiver on the team in a Jim Harbaugh, Greg Roman offense. What's the obsession with Ladd McConkey? Like straight up. I just don't get it. So tell me I'm wrong. Tell me why he's the target. Tell me why. Tell me why. I don't see it at all. I don't see it. Thoughts on Lamar and Henry stack? I love it. I love it. I don't mind stacks like that. It balances your team out. If they're running the ball well, Henry's going to get you points. If they're passing the ball well, it'll be Lamar. I don't mind that. Would you rather have Najee or Rashad as your RB2 this year? Rashad. He's just going to be a little bit more risky than he was last year. Like last year, we got Rashad at the RB3 land, and it was like, you didn't have to take any risks. But I still think Rachaad White has a better season than Najee. If that's what you're asking. At the value, I think Najee's a better value this year. Thoughts on Nick Chubb this year? We got to see him on the field. And coming off of a major ACL, like a major injury, ACL and MCL, it's tough, man. And to expect backs to look like how they are, you still got Jerome Ford, Deontay Foreman, and it'll probably take 2-3 games just for him to get up to speed. I'm kind of out on Nick Chubb this year, even though people say I look like him for whatever reason. I'm kind of out on Nick Chubb, man. That's a player I really like too. Like, I've been a big Nick Chubb stan for a long time. It's just coming off the injury. It's not like it's his first time getting hurt. And we got to see him, I know he can do damage on a limited amount of carries, but it takes players a long time to come off those injuries. And this will be his second, third one. What round are you taking quarterback this year? Best value. Whenever I can get value on a quarterback, I'll take him. I like later, like back in QB1, high in QB2 range. Better to take Zeke for that RB3. Not mad at it. Thoughts on Hollywood in the Chiefs offense? I like Hollywood Brown, but I think in the Chiefs offense, it doesn't really, he's going to be super inconsistent. Hollywood Brown's always been super inconsistent. He's had one season over 750 yards receiving. He's always been super inconsistent. I don't see why that really, maybe he gets 800, 900 yards this year, but what's he going to get? 5 touchdowns? He'd have to get a lot of touchdowns. The receptions would have to be there. So if you're banking on him getting 1,000 yards, he still has to get the receptions and the touchdowns to justify that. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. Can Bowers have a Sam Laporta type rookie season? No, not with that offense. That's Devontae's offense. Thoughts on Christian Kirk? He's going to feast. It's a good setup for Christian Kirk to have a repeat of what he did last year. So, back in wide receiver 2, high in wide receiver 3 land. Zay Flowers or Hollywood? Give me Zay Flowers. I don't love it. Give me Zay Flowers. Give me Zay Flowers. I like that Jaden Daniels pick down there. AG, I like that Jaden Daniels pick last round. I like that a lot, actually. Would you rather have Najee or Rashad this year? Same question, but in Dynasty. This year, I'd rather have Rashad. And in Dynasty, I just got to go with the Rashad right now. He catches the rock. So in PPR leagues, you got to go with Rashad. I think in non-PPR leagues, you go Najee. It's kind of the trade-off there. But I don't know. I don't really see a reason why you would take Najee over Rashad this year. Zeke's ADP is way too low. Agreed. Boston or Dallas? I got Boston in this one. They're just a more complete team, especially if Porzingis is able to give it a go. That's the expectation, is that he should be ready to go. I just think Boston has too much for Dallas, where Dallas is just Luka and Kyrie. It's Luka and Kyrie. Obviously, they've had some big plays out of PJ Washington. Daniel Gafford's really stepped up. But, for everything that they've got depth-wise, I just think Boston has studs and superstars and defensive presence and the ability to shoot. And then they got clutch players too. That's just a lot for Dallas to overcome. And it's probably the most complete team they'll have faced in the playoffs so far, defensively and offensively. I like Dallas, man. I like Boston. It's probably, and Boston will give away a game. You guys know how Boston is. Boston is Jekyll and Hyde. They're up by 20, somehow lose the game. Down by 20, somehow they win the game. I think Boston wins this thing 5 or 6. I got Boston. If I had to put an official prediction on it for Thursday, I got Boston in 5. And it took who to take for me? Caleb. It took Caleb Williams. That's fine. Favorite late round tight end? I talk Luke Musgrave. I like Luke Musgrave a lot. What's up, y'all? What's good? No Chase in the top 5? Hell no. Chase has only been a top 5 receiver once in his entire career. And whether it's because of his injury, Joe Burrow's injury, it doesn't matter. I'm just going with the stats. 3 years, he's had one season where he was the wide receiver 5. Why would I put him top 5? He's a fun player to watch, but we doing that 24-hour live stream again, 12-hour. We'll do a 12-hour live stream. It'll be all mock drafts again. So you guys want to do another mock draft right now? If you guys want to do another mock draft, let me know. Why does it say inactivity detected? I'm sitting here reading the comments and it says inactivity detected. Don't make no damn sense. You guys want to do another mock draft? How y'all feeling about this one? This was a good one. So my team, let me go over my team real quick. Let me know what you guys rated out of 10. You guys can rate the team. Breece Hall with the first pick. I had the number 8 pick, just in case you're just joining. Had the number 8 pick. I had Breece Hall, Devontae Adams, Deebo Samuel, Travis Kelce, George Pickens, Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard, Jordan Love, Tajay Spears, Brian Robinson, Caleb Williams was auto-drafted for me. What do y'all think about the squad? Rated out of 10. Rated out of 10. While I get this next draft set up. And if you want to join the draft, go over to the Justin Henry Show on YouTube. I'm going to be running up another draft. You think Locke takes Daniel Jones' spot? No, not yet. McConkey is the only receiver that can get separation consistently. I hate this narrative. They're NFL receivers. They're going to get separation is not indicative of performance over the year or in fantasy. I hate that. Separation is probably the worst thing that could have happened in fantasy. Everybody's like, oh, he gets separation. He gets separation. That don't mean A, he can catch the rock. B, doesn't mean he's always available. And C, it doesn't always mean he's part of the play call. Just because a receiver doesn't get separation doesn't mean they're not good. You want me to rate all the teams? You want me to rate all the teams? All right, I'll rate all the teams real quick. Y'all want me to rate all the teams. I'll get a new one started in just a second. Let me get this league. I'll rate all of them. Let me get this one started. New mock draft. Let me just set this one up real quick. What position should I draft? Teams? Bro, let me rate these teams real quick. Y'all got me, man. Y'all got me. Let me rate these teams real quick. All right, AG, got Tyreek Hill, Nico, DJ Moore, Lamar, Andrews. Your top running backs are Connor, Montgomery, Warren, Chase Brown. This team is like, I think it's a decent team. I'll give it a solid 8. 8 out of 10. McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, Pittman, Higgins, Christian Kirk, George Kittle, Najee Harris, Jonathan Brooks with Goff at quarterback. Got decent wide receiver play, really good receiver play. Got Christian McCaffrey, Najee and Jonathan Brooks there, some floor and upside. I get us an 8.5. This looks good. Goff at quarterback, who's consistently been a top 10 quarterback. You got CD for the third team, Lamb, Flowers, Hopkins, Lockett, Jacoby Myers. Receivers could use some help. You got Derrick Henry, James Cook, Nick Chubb. Quarterbacks are Allen and Tua, and then tight end Ferguson. I don't like this team. Aiden Lee, I've seen you draft better teams than this. This is like a 7, 7.5 to me. Yeet Man, you got Chase, Kyron, Achan, Tank Dell. This looks like a Yeet Man squad. Jalen Hurts, Reed, Zamir White, Keon Coleman, Brian Thomas. So a lot of the young guys, of course. This team, if your young guys don't hit, Yeet Man, this is you're gonna have some trouble here. So with Dell and Reed as your 2 and 3, I don't like this team a lot, unfortunately. This is more like a 7.5 to me. 7.5 out of 10. Stefan was good. He said he's got Bijan, Marvin Harrison, Etienne, McBride, Kenneth Walker, McLaurin, Christian Watson, Samuel, the receivers. Yikes. Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, Xavier Legette. I think your running backs are good. Your receiver play, man. Harrison, McLaurin, and Christian Watson. You got Christian Watson or Samuel as your third RB. 7.5 to me. That's like a 7, 7.5. Jaden, your team 6. So we got Jefferson, Chris Olave, Jacobs, Laporta, Rashad White, Stroud, Stevenson, JSN, Gus Edwards, Blake Corum, and then Dontavian Wicks at the end. Your running backs are strong with Jacobs, Rashad White, Stevenson, Edwards. And then your receivers, in a 3-receiver league, you'd like to see a little bit better depth than that, but your running backs are good. I get this one at 8. I don't love it, but I'll give it an 8. All right, and then pick 7 was St. Brown, Evans, Cooper Kupp with Aaron Jones, Kyle Pitts, DeAndre Swift, Javonte Williams, Jameson Williams, Trey Benson, and then Brock Purdy and Trevor Lawrence. This is a good team. Only thing is you don't really have the stout running back, but if you had one of these running back, like if Swift and Javonte can be just resourceful, this is a good team. 8.5. I like this team a lot, actually. My team already rated. And then let's see, team 9. Why can't I switch to a different team? Oh, team 9, you don't get rated because you're not there no more. Ty, you got Gibbs, Diggs, Keenan Allen, Kamara. Wow, it's an excellent start. Rashee Rice, if he hits, this is good. I love the Mostert pick. Love the Dak pick. Hollywood Late's fine. You got Zeke. Oh, this is a good team. This is like an 8.5, 9 almost. If that Rice pick was any different, if you would have did better than like Rashee Rice there, if you would have got like a Chris Godwin or Calvin Ridley or like Terry McLaurin, somebody a little bit more stout there, I would have liked that team even better. But good team. Casey has Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Pacheco, Neighbors. So you got Pacheco, Singletary, and Chuba Hubbard are your backs. Nacua, Garrett Wilson, Waddle with Neighbors, Odunze, and McConkey. So if one of your rookies hits with David Njoku, this is a good team. This is an 8, solid 8. You just need more upside at your running back, more upside. You're really limited. You have good floor running back with Pacheco, Singletary, and Chuba Hubbard. You just need more upside. And then we got Taylor, Barkley, Cooper, Smith, Kincaid, Godwin, Cooper, Smith, Godwin, Addison, Dobbs. This is decent receiver play. You got obviously Taylor and Barkley is the headliner. Kincaid and Burrow. I would say this is an 8 too. This is an 8. All right. So hopefully y'all like the rankings. There. All right. We back. Yes, mock drafts are back. I'm going to try to do them every Monday. Mock draft Mondays, mock draft mania, whatever you want to call it. So if you haven't subbed to the page, subscribe to the page because I'm going to try to do these every Monday live, and then I'll post them throughout the week so we can go back and revisit them on